Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I am Gerry. Joining me is Tom. Make all kinds of American cartoon references that you want.
That's always
Tom
fun.
and Jerry, yeah?
Wait.
Yes. People have been saying it for years, Tom. We just haven't acknowledged it. All right,
Yeah.
Tom, let's talk about new stadium plans. Last week were revealed, and they look pretty. It
Yeah.
looks really nice. I don't have a lot of. It's a little bit more modern than I was expecting, but then if you look at Dan Meese's other designs, it makes sense that it would be. You know, he's kind of bringing this blend of modernity and tradition, which is what I think is what they want out of this stadium.
Mhm.
Um, I for some reason I didn't make it to any of the consultations about the stadium, but you did. So can you talk a little bit about exactly what went down in those? Because I'm just curious as to this whole process because I have no idea.
Yeah. So basically, I think it was Wednesday night, or I think it was Wednesday night or Thursday night. There was a meeting at the Titanic Hotel, which is
Hmm.
very close to Bramley Moore Dock, and where the stadium is meant to be happening. For season ticket holders, select season ticket holders who'd be invited. Obviously, Max was there at that. I wasn't there, so I won't be able to talk about that. But they did a little tour, and the tour's still going on, of the basically a porter cabin that's being placed in different locations around Merseyside, to show people the plans, for both the new stadium and for Goodison Park, and what's going to happen. And it's really cool. So like it's kind of, you walk in, there's loads of boards, information boards, and there's also a VR, to show you around the new stadium, which is great. But yeah, it looks really interesting. It showed you everything from transport, how they're going to establish transport links from the city centre and elsewhere to the new stadium. I think it's 10 or 15 minutes walk from Sand Hills train station, which is close by.
I love how
And
I'm nodding like I know where that is. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, definitely. That's
it's,
close to there. Yeah.
no, it's a train station that some people get off Anfield and Goodison anyway. So it's close to L4 anyway, where we're based. Obviously it's just towards the water. So it's basically like a little bit of a straight line from Goodison and Anfield just towards the water, and that's where we're looking to be homed. But yeah, there's
Being that
loads.
close to Anfield, are we going to be catching any smells of urine or anything that we have to
Oh
worry
yeah,
about,
yeah.
like drifting down the road? It's
Yeah, we're getting further away from them, so that's great.
hey, I'm
It'll be
definitely
great to
down
go
with
to a
that.
game and have to look at their stadium, which will be really excited for that. But yeah, there was loads of information. It was kind of like, it was how they're gonna even do it. They're gonna have to dredge one dock and then fill it. One of the not the full dock, but one of the water channels anyway. I wasn't expecting the plans to be so surrounded with water, and because obviously it's on a dock, so it's gonna be have water involved. But I didn't. I kind of thought they would dredge the whole thing and not
Uh-huh.
leave. They'd only leave the obviously the waterfront, but they're kind of building it around the water because there's a lot of kind of heritage people, obviously World
Yeah.
Heritage. Liverpool's a World Heritage Site, and UNESCO, people who organise that, have threatened to take it away from Liverpool if we build this new stadium. So Everton have done everything they can to try and go along with their guidelines, kind of thing. There's some buildings that are there at the moment. There's an old hydraulic tower which is being abandoned, and the Everton are planning to, even, I think they're going to like kind of revitalise that and use it as an exhibit kind of thing. So they're doing everything they can to make it as green as possible, sustainable, and kind of preserve as much as they can. But so obviously it's great. It looks amazing, and the VR was really cool. That was my favorite part. Obviously, it was kind of like it was wow. It was really cool. Like I've done VR before, but for the stadium, it was just like, oh my god! Like I didn't want to take it off. I just wanted to stay there. I was like, can I just watch the match? But you kind of like showed us around the stadium. You could stand in the centre circle of the pitch itself and look around the stands, and it was so cool. It was really good. Like it's kind of symmetrical as well. Obviously, you've got the stand coming, the part that says Everton coming out of the back, but you could look at, I think you could look at like a kind of a bird's eye view, and the sections that obviously they're not named yet, but the sections, and there's a massive media gantry going along the whole line of the pitch, which reminded me of the one in the new camp, which overlooks the pitch, but not to draw a comparison between Bramley Moore and the new camp. But I think it just got a little bit excited, honest. But it was really amazing, really good, just to have a look at it all, and just it was really caught my eye. And even the stuff they're going to do to Goodison Park as well. That was quite a big part of the whole exhibition. There was a few boards on that because what are you going to do? And it's very ambitious, the plans, what they're going to do with Goodison Park, and if you can pull it off, it'd be great. But obviously, a massive club with the community. Everton community is one of the best football club community projects in football in general. But what the plan to do basically is turn the pitch itself into a park. Even though they've got Stanley Park right there, but it's a park, and they'd still have the kind of centre circle kind of thing, and they'd have a little channel either side, and they'd have the big sign saying Goodison on top of the park end. They keep those letters and just kind of put them up on display, and they'd have new housing around the outside where the stands are. They'd have office space, possibly a health centre as well for the NHS. And I think at this stage they're just trying to kind of push everything and kind of like just make it as appealing as possible to the public. Obviously, there's a very, very early consultation stage, but it does look very appealing. It just got me really excited, to be honest.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how they would be able to utilize Goodison in a way that felt organic, a way that felt natural. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like, okay, this is clearly an old stadium, and we're really trying to do something with it. So it's not like square peg, round hole, that kind of thing. So I would be really curious to see the plans for that. For some reason, I just almost feel like that's just as difficult. You know, trying to revitalize and repurpose in a way. You know. So is there anything about the new stadium, the Bramley Moore designs, that give you a little pause where you're like, I don't know about that? Anything where you're kind of worried? Anything where you're like, well, that's not my taste, and my taste is impeccable. So anything at all that you were a little worried about?
Well, there's not been much concerns displayed by many Evertonians. The whole thing, as you said, was mainly positive. Well, I think altogether positive. But one of the things that was interesting was obviously going to leave plenty of the water there. And having a look around, it looked like water next to a football stadium. Obviously, it's kind of revolutionary. There's not much like that. There's obviously a stadium with water all around it. You've got to put up big fences because there can be, obviously, the days of football hooliganism is the majority of it is gone. But it's dangerous to have water right next to a football stadium. You can have fights between fans. You can have all sorts. I'm sure after an Everton match, some fans would want to jump in the water. But
I was thinking the same thing, or be thrown in. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah. So I think safety would have to be taken into account massively, because some of the photos, like I love that photo where there's the little kids looking up at the stadium and they're sitting on the edge, but sitting on the edge with no fence. It's kind of like, well, that's asking for trouble. I know we're not like Liverpool fans throwing people into fountains, but you've got to take safety into account. And I think that was the only thing where it was kind of a bit like, oh, really? But apart from that, it just looked amazing. Like to have a stadium on the waterfront, just I was expecting big things, but that exceeded my expectations in general. Yeah.
I know the only thing that I've heard that was, because I had not heard about the preponderance of water and how they're going to deal with fencing and all that. So that's a new concern to me. I think the only thing that I've heard was it's aesthetic based, where if you're looking from that same angle you described from that picture, that the particular font from like old school Everton badge, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people were saying, I don't know about that font, you know what I mean? Because it feels like old Everton. So, but that's splitting hairs, and frankly, I don't care. The idea of just a big fuck off stand, you know what I mean? You know, that's what I guess has been affectionately called Blue Wave in the past. I think maybe now it's Blue Nami. It's going to be as close to the field, as close to the pitch as possible, as is legal. So that's great, because I think everybody this whole time has been like, look, I want to have the atmosphere that Dortmund tends to engender, you know? And I got and at the same token, Goodison.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what is that those are the attempts. You know,
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're gonna call it the Alcaraz stand. I Oh, Antolene, how we
Oh.
remember Kiev. And we don't want to. So I
Yeah, just opposite the Tony stand as well.
yeah, yeah, I gotta have that. Oh, that little dance. I mean, it was I was camping when the and so I was in the process of coming from the mountains and traveling, and so I'm sitting here trying to drive, and I'm trying to get my wife to check Twitter on my phone so I can see the designs.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't have signal half the time because it's the mountains
Oh.
of Virginia,
Yeah.
North Carolina. And so I'm just like, I just need to see what's going on. I'm dying here, you know? I remember
Oh.
last year it was over. I'd gone camping for my anniversary with my wife, and it was more about like we had no signal at the campsite, and our YouTube channel was like this close to getting 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
It was like this close, and you know, Toffee Blues John was sending me messages. Hey man, we're really close, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to know because
Oh
you know what I
no.
mean. So yeah, it seems like all the cool Everton stuff happens when I go camping. So we'll
No.
see what happens coming up. I may need to fit in a camping trip before the end of transfer season, so that brands can kind of make everything happen. Almighty brands. Sorry, bronze. Mispronouncing God's name. It's awful. Gad. So I guess anything else on new stadium stuff? Maybe Mr. Meese. I'm gonna say it, Meese.
Well, he's just built mice.
Mice.
That,
It looks
you know,
like
what
mice,
it
but
is.
I've heard people say Meese is the
Yeah.
right way. Yeah.
Really, yeah.
So,
I've always said mice as well.
yeah, I mean, it's just so I've heard it's meese, although that sounds like someone joking about the plural of moose. But maybe it's right. Anyway, sorry, Dan. You're the man. I'm not mocking your name. You're a badass. You've somehow pleased Evertonians. Pretty impossible feat. So yeah, man, just smiles abound on this project, you know, and the idea of everybody, so many like, you know, cynical Sammy saying it was never gonna happen. You know, I feel like this reaction was worth the wait.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
and
Yeah, it was definitely, it was kind of like, yeah, it's taken a while, and this process will take a while. Everton fans are going to have to be patient, which we're not very good at in general. But no, we're going to have to be really patient with this one because it's a massive project, dredging a whole dock, filling it in. Just building this. We haven't even got proper investors yet. We haven't even got a plan sorted. But if we can make it happen for the targets of, I think the target as well, we haven't even mentioned, is like 2024. That's very ambitious
that's
to get
really
this all done
soon.
in 5 years. It's really ambitious. I think that might just kind of be a statement, as if to say that's when we want it to happen. Whether it will happen then or much later, will be interesting to see. But I don't think. I would not say it's not realistic, but it's kind of like it's ambitious. I'm not sure if that's possible, but it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it is. Anything will be a while off. I know that. I don't know if you've seen that video from a while ago where I think it was the Liverpool fans who went to Bramley Moore Docks and they made the video mocking and said, "Oh look, there's a cone. There might be two next year." It will take a
Well,
while.
weren't they
We're
even
gonna have
on
to
the
wait
wrong
for.
dock too? They weren't even in the right
Yeah,
place
they were,
either. It's like if you're gonna troll us, do it right, guys. Damn. Open a map.
Yeah.
Google Maps should help you do this if you understand.
Yeah. The fellow looked like he was too old to know
Poor
what Google
guy.
Maps was,
Poor
but
guy.
he was just it will take a while. We're gonna have to be patient, but it's definitely gonna be worth it. But at this stage, we're all excited about it, but we've got to be realistic and think that as amazing as it is, it's in the future, well in the future, and we're gonna be nearly 10 years older by the time it happens. So we've just fingers crossed, but like it's not set in stone yet,
I'll be fully
so
gray
to speak.
by that point
Yeah.
because I'm on my way now, folks.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
out
it's
here,
gonna be.
grown
I'll
out
just keep
after
growing.
Fellaini.
Yes. Oh, there was this player for the Carolina Panthers a long time ago named Rod Smart, and he used to be in the XFL. And the XFL was like this league that WWF started, like Vince McMahon started for American football.
Yeah.
And he had, and you could put on your jersey like a nickname or whatever, and his nickname was He Hate Me. So he put He Hate Me on the back, but he ended up playing for the Carolina Panthers, and his little player photo, his hair was so big it like got cropped out of his picture on his like player graphic, and I was like, I love Rod Smart. He's my favorite Panther ever, man. So maybe I'll go that big. So when you crop my picture into our little template, my hair will be too big. All right. So we're all looking forward to Everton's new stadium, Nando's Arena. I have no idea. I was like, let me think of the goofiest stadium sponsor I could at the moment that rings true with British people. Because honestly, if I say like, I don't know, Sheets Stadium or something, nobody's gonna get it over there. But yeah, Americans be like, oh yes, that's the gas station place. Yes. So all right.
We have Shell.
Oh, you have Shell. Yeah, we have Shell too, but Sheets is a place where you can go and like get like cheap dinner as well, and then you have like this touch screen thing where you can get like these crazy like sandwiches like 24/7. So yeah, but it's a little pricey. And I always heard Nando's, going out and getting a Nando's sounds. I want to be able to say cheeky Nando's and not sound like a douchebag.
Cheeky Nando's Arena. I'd pay for it to be called the Cheeky Nando's Arena. That'd be horrible.
Nando's totally does sound like the place you go late night after you've been like partying pretty hard. It does sound like that kind of place.
Nabsy's in Liverpool. Nabsy's
the
one. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one in Liverpool. That's where you get food poisoning after a night out.
We can never use them as a sponsor now, Tom.
Sorry, Nabsy, whoever you are out there. But yeah, that's where you get. If alcohol poisoning isn't enough for you, then food poisoning. Yeah, that's what everyone fancies after a night out.
This is good to know. Good to know. Put that in my memory bank for later. All right. So Tom, that is it for our these. We've done a couple of video segments. If you want to stay with us, switch on over to the podcast. We're doing a lightning round with Tom, where he'll be answering all kinds of personal questions. Tom reveals all is another thing we could have called that. No, it's just 20 lightning round questions about various stuff. Some of it nerdy, some of it just common general knowledge. Whatever. Just a lot of stuff. But if you have been digging the videos, please subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. If you want more Tom, Toffee Blues Extra Show, he's the host of that. So there's a lot of Tom if you want him. Also, Tom wants you to follow Marine, and that's not. And although that's probably a woman's name as well, which I'm certain it is. Marine FC, you should follow them. Grassroots football, non-league. Tom has convinced me that they're awesome. So,
not yet. Hopefully soon.
The idea of them is awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta get my kids a non-league kit. I love that. I love the idea of that. People.
Yeah, get them. We've got a 125th anniversary this year, commemorative black and gold half.
That's awesome. Yes. That sounds great. All right, got to make that happen. Okay, so anyway, that's all the plugging. So if you like the videos, cool. Say bye to Tom. Tom, thanks so much, man. Good to talk. All right, let's go do a lightning round where you can teach me all about Tom the entity. All right. Oh, indeed, right? All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. And fingers crossed for transfer window. Bye.